So your benefits kind of fall into kind of one of two categories. And I like to draw this out. This is probably an important element. A lot of people, when they choose not to renew their membership, they indicate one of the reasons that they choose not to remove their membership is because they don't feel like they took advantage of it or that they got anything from it. So one of the things that I like to talk about in orientation are the things that you're receiving for your membership. Even if you're so busy with your business, you don't necessarily have the time to engage with the membership. There are things happening on your behalf and things happening to benefit you that are happening regardless of your amount of participation. So one of the first ones, and probably one of the most important ones, especially right now, is your digital directory listing. So Google out there in the universe loves government and sort of pseudo-government organizations. So the chamber has considered it what's a non-government organization, but it is a community organization. And so Google loves chambers because they're sort of an official directory resource for businesses to list themselves as a legitimate resource. That's why when you Google a business, a lot of times those first 2 or 3 listings, one of those will be a chamber listing for that business if that business is a chamber member. And there is a very specific reason for that. Our directories are searched on average 10,000 times a month. Obviously, busier times of the year we see more, less busy times of the year we see a little bit less, but on average it's about 10,000 times a month. Really, really a great way to sort of, I don't want to say passively, but to have your business be advertised while you're busy doing other things. There is your Compass resource guide. Again, right now, this is a critical piece of what's happening out there in the world. So we're not able to get together as much as we used to, and we're not able to network as much as we used to, but we still need to get our business in the minds and in the sort of sphere of awareness for everybody out there. And Compass is a huge opportunity for everybody. It is actually a physical magazine that we print and we mail to 20,000 homes here in Mesa each year. So in the Arizona Republic, subscribers to the Arizona Republic receive a copy of Compass magazine each year. And the great thing about it is the magazine has a complete directory of membership as of the time that it's printed, so that people have that available to them to look up a particular business if they need it. So right now, probably one of the most important resources available to you through your chamber membership, because you're getting into people's homes and you're also getting into some of the more publicly accessed businesses in Mesa. So Phoenix Gateway Airport, Falcon Field, some of our larger employers, Boeing, a lot of our hotels, all have copies of this magazine available to patrons, employees, and others. So it's really a great way for you to get your business name and contact information out in front of people, in especially times like this where we're not able to take advantage of other opportunities. The third one is the one that we spend a little bit of time talking about just because it happens in the background a lot, and unless something huge blows up, you don't necessarily hear about it, and that's the advocacy piece. So we are out in the universe, if you will, advocating for business needs at the city level, at the state level, at the county level. I mean, basically at every level of government, all the way up to the federal government. And your chamber leverages its membership base to advance the things that are important to the business community. The most outstanding example that I have to share with you on that, and many of you will know this, was the issue that came up 3 or 4 years ago about the Americans with Disabilities Act. So there was a circumstance that came up where there was someone of ill repute, if you will, out there basically taking advantage of a loophole in the Americans with Disabilities law to try and litigate themselves to wealth. So they would show up at your business, take a picture of your parking lot, never come in your business, just take a picture of the parking lot. They would look at the picture, they would find something that did not fit the ADA guidelines, they would file a lawsuit against you. Then conveniently, you'd get a letter that says, hey, if you want to settle this, we'll settle this for $10,000 and call it a day. So a lot of small businesses would panic because they didn't understand what was happening. And they would basically say, well, yeah, I'll just pay that and be done with it. So there was a person of ill repute making a large amount of money and filing, in the thousands of these lawsuits. So it came to our attention because a member actually asked Sally about it when she was visiting them on a different issue. And so we looked into it a little bit more, and finding that there was a serious issue there, convened sort of a couple of community meetings. And then eventually the issue was picked up by the state attorney general. The state attorney general then coordinated with our sort of East Valley Regional Chambers Alliance and was able to then move that issue forward to the point where we were able to change the law to close that loophole, and then also punish the person that was acting in very poor taste. So that's probably one of the more overt examples of how advocacy works to your benefit while you're trying to run your business or you're trying to do whatever you need to do. We're working in the background, and that's always happening. The other piece of advocacy is, as you're doing your thing, you're going to run into things that you need help with, whether it's a permit issue, whether it's something that you think, well, that's not helping my business at all. Those are the kinds of things that you can pass to us to see if there's anything that we can do on your behalf. And if there is, we're certainly going to do everything that we can to move that issue forward for you. So don't ever hesitate to participate in that process. We actually do a monthly government affairs meeting where we invite guests in for various areas, and they do presentations on different topics. And you're always welcome to attend that meeting and kind of learn more about what's happening locally, even regionally, or nationally, depending on the guest, what's happening out there in terms of your business. So I always like to spend a little bit of time on that one, just so that people really have a good understanding of the things that are kind of happening in the background while you're living your life. So I'm happy to answer any questions. How's everybody doing so far? Everybody good? All right, very good. This is probably the second most important thing that I'm going to talk about today, which is your chamber login. If you do not have your login settled, if you are not able to log into your account at mesachamber.org, please feel free to throw your information into the chat so that we can follow up with you and get that done. The reason that I say that is because there is so much you can do with your profile and your login that really it gets overlooked a lot. So you can actually build a multimedia profile. You can actually include video in your chamber profile that people see when they look at you on the chamber website. You can post job opportunities. The two most important pages on the chamber website that get looked at every single day are the jobs page and basically the hot deals page, so the offers that you make. Those are the two most important single pages that people look at on the chamber site. You can create events, and I should just turn this over to Melissa because she's fantastic at this. But as a member, you get to post events that are happening with your organization, and those events go out to our social media so that our membership and the community at large sort of get pinged for your event. So you have the opportunity to create events and then share them, and then they get shared for you. You can post press releases. So this is one that gets overlooked a ton. You're busy with your business and you're busy in your industry, and you might win an award and you want to share that. You want people to know that you've won an award or that your business has been recognized, or you've launched a new product, or you've revamped your business, or any number of different reasons. But really think about posting a professionally made press release about what you're doing. Those press releases do get looked at. They do get shared out to our social media. So you have the ability to constantly communicate with a bigger audience about what's happening with you in your industry and your place in it. So it's a big deal. You can actually network and message other members. So there's a little social, kind of like a Facebook feed looking little feature when you log in, and you can actually communicate flyers, special offers, questions, that kind of thing. You can communicate in the back end. You can obviously you can register for events. I would imagine most of you have probably either done that at some point or plan to do that soon. And then of course you can always edit your profile information. So one of the important things that we always want to make sure that you know is that you have complete control over what people see about your business, how it's described, where the link clicks to when people want to visit your website. You have control over that, and you can change it anytime you want. So I'm going to use Melissa as an example because she's right here on my screen. So with the food bank, when the food bank starts a new drive, literally she can log into her profile and say, hey, here's the link to our latest drive, and put it right on her profile. And then when that one ends and a new one begins, she can go in and change it anytime. That's the power of that flexibility. It's a huge, huge, huge advantage for you to be able, it's almost like having a second independent website from the one that would be with your business.